You're welcome to another episode of the Darkroom Women. My name is Bibi Benson. Now, the Darkroom Women is talking about women who have to go through stuff, and while they're there at that point in time, it's equivalent to being in the dark room. And many come out of it, some perish in it, some they never remain the same. Okay, so today's episode, we're going to be looking at Hannah, Elkanah's wife in First Samuel. Hannah is the first wife of Elkanah, but she had no children. We don't know if it's as a result of her not having children that Elkanah decided to get married to Peninnah. So Peninnah had children, and the Bible records that Peninnah never let Hannah have rest. Peninnah taunted Hannah. Peninnah did everything. Maybe she was also envious. I mean, your first wife, but you don't have children. What are you all about? Okay? But the record states that there was no time that Hannah responded to Peninnah about what how she was treating her. But you know how it is in a home where one wife doesn't have a child and the other one has children. You know what they do. You know how they don't send my children, don't correct my children, and all of that stuff. It's the reality of life even today, because we're in a generation where if a man doesn't have children from his marriage, the blame is put on the woman. Nobody bothers to check. In fact, even if she decides to go for a test, they'll say, "Oh, even if it's not supposed to be so, we don't have barrenness in our family." Okay. And back in the old days, I don't think there was anything like that where you had to go check biological viability of any couple. Okay, so Hannah continued to endure this, but her husband loved her. We can't say that of a lot of people today. It's a business arrangement. It has to be, it's a relationship of benefits today. I love you until something hits. Then we'll know whether the love is real or it's just because that's the truth. If anything happens, then you will know if your partner truly, truly loves you. Well, Elkanah loved his wife, and he didn't let her down. He consoled her, he encouraged her, and in addition to that, the Bible records that he gave her double portion of every provision. He encouraged her and said, "Am I not worth more than 10 sons?" That is the closeness of their relationship. Still, she was in her dark room. Even with that, she knew the pain of not being with a child. She knew the pain of what Peninnah was doing to her. She was in her dark room, but she was silent about it. And she was intentional about seeking solution. And that is why she went to the right place. Okay. Today, sometimes you don't go to the right place. Sometimes you go to shady places and you say to yourself, what's important is that I have a child. It doesn't matter where I get it from. Let it be known that I had a child. I got pregnant and I had a child. But God always has a purpose. I tell some people that when a womb doesn't carry a child for a very long time, or when the womb is delayed from carrying a child, it is because there's a special child coming from that womb. So eventually, she goes to Shiloh. Normally, we say that every year, Elkanah, a very devout man, obviously, goes with his family, the Esau's family, to worship. Every year, he did that. And every time, of course, we know that Peninnah was praying. We know she was asking God for a way out, to take away the reproach, to break the yoke of barrenness. We know she was doing that. It was a dark room for her. Maybe the only person who entered that dark room with her was Elkanah, her husband, because he always encouraged her. He always tried to help. He always, such husbands, well, there are not many. That's the truth. There are not many. It's like everybody carry your load. And the family will be looking from a distance. What's happening to her? She's like this, she's like that. People will probably be calling her names. The same as a lot of people today. Calling people names. You didn't name them, but you're naming them, with something negative. Until she found her answer. And the answer came in the form of Samuel, because God heard her when she cried. When she was, in that dark room, it is easy to be rude or to be insensitive, actually. Like she was lamenting and praying. And the priest, Eli, saw her and said, keep drinks away from you. What is it? Why did you get drunk so early in the morning? Tell me, in Hannah's position, what would you have done? What would you have said? How would you have felt? But no, Hannah had the right attitude to the dark room. She had the right perspective to the dark room. So she did the right things in the dark room. And the results came. She came out of the dark room and became a story that we read about today and share. She gave birth to a prophet of God. She made a vow which she kept. She came out of that dark room. You too can come out of that dark room. I don't know what the dark room is for you. Maybe your husband has a second wife. Maybe he has many wives. Maybe your husband is just going around sowing his wild oats and people are coming on a daily basis to claim that he is the father of their child or their children. I listened to a woman that you will never believe was going through such. She's been married to her husband for so long. They have children. And then one day this man went and married another woman without telling her. There's some traditions that you go really deep. And he went that deep and brought this woman home. Prior to that, he had been bringing home children. And she opens her heart and hands to them, taking care of them. And then he did this, never telling her. She found out another way while the man was there, still doing what he was doing. She said she couldn't ask. She just ran to God for prayers. She's still living, she's still surviving. Imagine what some people would do. You would allow anger to take over and you strike. It's better in silence. God does not like unjust measures. He does not. And he's a God of justice. He knows what to do when you are hurt that deeply. When you go to him in prayer, he knows what to do with it. So we must remember that prayer handles a lot of issues that we cannot handle. We must go to God in prayer so that he can handle those issues the way it is best for him. Many times when he handles the issues, we don't see it as good enough, but in the long run, it is the best solution. So, at the end of the day, we read about Samuel. Hannah had all her children. So what did Peninnah eventually do? You will come out of your dark room. Just look at it from the right perspective. Do the right things. Hang on to God. Take it to him every day, no matter how painful. It could be really painful. Especially when, in your own case, you have a husband who is not encouraging. Maybe you have in-laws who are hitting you left, right, and center. You have a mother-in-law who will come and determine what happens in your home because she feels it's her right to do so. Hang in there. But I will not tell you to hang in there if your life is at risk. You have to be alive to enjoy the blessings of God. If you must step aside for a while, let tempos cool down. Fine. Even if you have stepped aside and you are there praying to God, you will resolve the issues and you reclaim what is yours. But if your husband has decided that he wants to keep his two wives, ask God for wisdom and grace. But I want to assure you of one thing. There is nobody that has been in that dark room that God has not brought out who depended on God. Anybody who decided not to depend on God might just end up causing more destruction. Thank you for watching The Dark Room Women. Let's share your story if you want. And let's continue to listen and watch The Dark Room Women. I'm sure that one way or another, God will speak to you at some time that you do not expect.